We're going to call this meeting of the Unionville Historic District and Properties Commission to order. Thursday, November 11th, 7 o'clock p.m. We'll start by reviewing and approving the October 10th meeting minutes. You all received them?
Oh,
yeah. Yeah. Minute to look them over. Reading them now? Or? No, I read them. Oh, okay. All right. Very good. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I move.
Okay, we got a first and a second. Any changes or additions to the minutes? If not, please indicate your approval by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Nay? Nays. Abstentions?
One.
Yeah.
I wasn't here.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Oh, you weren't here, Matt?
I wasn't here.
Okay.
That's no
Two.
excuse. You get it in your email box.
So 2 abstentions. All right. So the minutes are approved. Thank you. Thanks. We go right to election of officers?
Yeah.
That seems abrupt, but okay. Yeah, okay.
All right. The current list is Lisa is the chairperson, Barbara is the vice chair, and Bob is the secretary. They make nominations, or they can just nominate the list as existing, and you just vote on that, without having to do it individually.
Is there anybody on the commission who would like to take a position as an officer for the upcoming year? Okay, Steve, you don't have to do that. I won't pick on you. Okay, yet. Right.
I won't be offended if someone else wants to step up and be vice chair.
You want to switch to Bob again?
I don't have any problem with it.
Would you like to be vice president?
Sure.
All right, so we'll,
Yeah, and you can do it all in one motion. You can, motion to nominate Lisa as chair, Bob as vice chair, and Barbara as secretary.
Okay, so revised slate. Make a motion to accept the revised slate as presented.
a second? Thank you. Any additions, corrections? All right, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any nays? Any abstentions? None. All right, we have officers for next year. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I think we will turn to our guests here and and just, we know you have questions about the historic district, and would you like to start out by asking them, or would you like us to give you a little summary?
Give you 2-minute history without boring you, I hope. And then I will back off and maybe you guys can tell me or educate me a little bit more about the process of registry on a home, and if some questions come up with it. I had started to talk to you before we were formally in session, I guess, introducing myself. I'm a very poor representative of the House. It is 79 Lovely Street. Poor shape also. But my father and mother bought it in the 30s. So it's been in the house about 85 years. And excuse me, after my father passed, Bill, who had always lived in the house, and he bought it, and so it was, and he, as many of you know, passed away in August. Prior to that time, he had a life deed, so the house really was transferred to my sister, the remaining Simons, if you will, and myself, 50-50 owners. And the only thing he put in his trust was the life estate, so he could stay there as long as. So we have the property now, and along with that, the obligation of trying to figure out what to do. I think my parents, and certainly Bill after him, for that matter, me also, we feel some sensitivity to the neighborhood. I mean, it's a long history. Hate to destroy that neighborhood by having somebody come in, buy the property, and do something untoward. The neighborhood just doesn't deserve that. So we want to keep it in the form it is now, which is one of the reasons we're talking about things that protect the street here. At the same time, we are not in a position to put the house in a normal marketing order. Gamble by taking essentially all of our money and try to bring the place up to snuff, and then selling it. But that's a job for people who are more in tune than I am to doing things like this. So I think we unintentionally run into an offer for the house that quicker than I had expected. Because I did want a baseline estimate as to companies that give you a quick estimate of what they would do. I'm very leery of dealing with most of them.
Yeah.
You guys may have some experiences, but I did find one company that I thought was shoulders reputable in their approach and attitude about it. And as a result, they have come up with what I think is a reasonable dollar offer for them. And my stipulation to them, to the extent that I can stipulate, is that, you know, my fervent wishes are that it stay in character as a Victorian, and he, unless he is more artful than I think he's tuned into that pretty well. He would want to keep it as a single family, and siding might be vinyl instead of wood as it is now, but done appropriately, including maybe scallop designs vinyl they have, where we now have that levels. Whether he has 4 different scallop designs like that house has, I don't know. But the house, unfortunately, my folks couldn't do much with it. My father was busy for a long time taking care of my mother, who was quite ill, and Bill had gone through a very long, debilitating situation too. So all of his plans kind of went down the chute in terms of fixing the place. So one thing after another, and the house just needed. It is a situation now where I probably will have to sell, and the question came up, advantage or other of considering registry, where I think you guys can maybe enlighten me as to what the process might be all about.
Yeah, so I think the first thing that comes to mind is your desire to keep, as you say, the building in its character. Putting the building within the local historic district would guarantee that. That's what we do. We make sure that buildings, you can put an addition on a part of the building that doesn't show from the public viewpoint, but you cannot do that to the part of the building that can be seen from the sidewalk, actually, or the street. We would also make sure that whoever owned the house would use materials on the building that were match the originals, which really scraping and painting that house would be a lot cheaper than putting on, siding. So we're very conscious of cost and the difficulty of maintaining historic houses. We work with owners to assure that what we're asking them to do is something that can be managed financially. But we are pretty rigorous in making sure that these buildings remain in their original condition in terms of character. We have actually a set of guidelines that we wrote early on in the establishment of this commission. So we'll give you a copy of that, and you can take a look at it. It's actually in addition to a series of guidelines about how to maintain your building. It's also got a great set of websites that you can go to check out the details if you're interested. So, in terms of your desire to keep the building in its original condition, sort of its original characters, original personality, so to speak, that's something that we can do, no matter who purchases the building. Anybody want to add to that? Matt?
Process-wise, we'd have to write a short report on the history and the architectural significance of the home, and then it has go to the state for approval, and then the homeowner votes as to whether or not they want to do it at that point.
Yeah, that's right.
The town council has to approve. So there's some paperwork.
Yeah. In your case, that building has a historical resource survey sheet done on it. So those were done in the mid-1980s. They took the 200 most historic buildings to the degree they could and did title searches, complete histories of each building, and your building has one of those, fortunately. So we could turn that report around in about 10 days. It would be that quick. The approval process would probably take another maybe 2 months. We have to have a...
Yeah, it's more so, it's you have Thanksgiving, Christmas, which throws off the town council schedule, because the town council has a study committee. Do the report, then there's a hearing with the board, a hearing with the state, and a hearing with the town council, which does break it out a little bit.
Sounds like March.
Yeah.
March, April.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more the state. That's the town council meets every month. We meet every month. It's the state that kind of, the historic office of the state doesn't meet every month. I think they meet once every 2 months or something. So that's the only, so.
Well, we'd work it out, so.
Yeah.
It would be a priority, so, yeah.
The homes on Lovely Street, part of a formal historic district, or are they on a...
So both. So in order to have a district, you have to have properties that are contingent to each other. It's a little squirrely. Sometimes it can be across the street, as long as the properties kind of connect, so to speak, across the street. Yeah, exactly. So in your case, your Sherry's house is in the district, so you would have your own district. We would make you a 2-house district. And we play a long game here. It's voluntary inclusion. So we have a district, we have actually, I think, 3 districts of 2 buildings because they're contiguous. But we know over time, as people see how this operates, that it's not onerous, that this is the way to really preserve the personality of this village. These are going to grow. So you're going to start as a 2-building district. And then then we're a district up the street. Sorry.
I just want to correct you. So, with the Unionville Historic District, it's a little different because we did create a boundary for the district.
That's right.
So that is actually the bound of the district, and it's historic properties within that district.
Yes.
Farmington is because it's older, the Farmington Historic District is older.
Right.
That's where that comes in, actually goes in bounds with the properties, whereas opposed to Unionville, where it's like, so you're part of the Unionville Historic District, which is this.
Kind of turquoisey.
It's this green line that you see that goes all the way
Yeah.
down here, and then all the properties are part of the district are in green. So here's Sherry's house, here's your brother's house, and then here's some of the other houses on Lowry Street and the other districts, other side streets.
Yeah. It's a bit like what's that, Tesla? Do you remember the Tesla game? No, that's not right. Tetris, thank you, the Tetris game, thank you. We were talking about electric cars.
So I want to apologize, because I might have misled you, because I might have spoken not knowing the difference between registering a single residence
Mm.
and being part of a historic district, because what I thought was that Farmington truly had the only district, and that Unionville was a collage of individual registered homes, but I'm wrong. And then I went further,
Yeah.
you know, as the alternate here, I went further and said it could be harder to develop or rehab a house in a district compared to a single individual registered home.
Oh, yeah, no.
So,
No.
I apologize. I apologize.
That's why we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's-
Yeah, I'm educating myself. I'm also, missing the expertise of my brother, because he was the one that was, or he knew considerably more,
Yeah.
not a generous statement at all.
Bill actually went through the tax credit,
Yes,
he
that's
went through
right.
the tax credit process with
Yeah.
us
Yeah.
before my time.
He was,
Yeah.
he came to he was interested. He was interested, also in, you know, other funding opportunities. And there is a Connecticut tax credit program that's pretty generous.
He did have some, rather, I don't want to call them grandiose, but
Yeah, yeah.
he started to get scared off a little bit, considering trying to fix some of the plumbing and the bathroom upstairs, recognized that the crazy design they had there, lead pipes and asbestos went all the way in between the floors and all the way.
Yeah, yeah.
They did have a plumber to come in to try to do one thing, and he looked at it, and we were like, where does it go? I'm not.
Ran away.
Something's
Yeah.
gonna break it, I'll never be able to fix it.
Yeah, yeah.
So, it was one of these things people were a little, you know, the current buyer would probably not, I don't know, I promised him I would, kind of give him a summary of the kinds of things I'm finding.
Yeah.
He had a better opportunity, I might have been able to get him here, but he tied up. And he wanted to learn himself a little bit more about it, so he hadn't closed out the opportunity for us to house register. However, his inclination, as you might expect as an investor, be about to dump a $250,000 into the place, is that he doesn't want any tying his hands. But, he has promised to respect the character of what we have. That's where we are right now. That's his feeling, my feelings. I'll always be overly honest.
Yeah, absolutely, why not? Yeah, why not?
And renovating a house does not preclude it from being included in the future.
Oh, absolutely.
There are some people that, you know, if there was some big project they didn't want to pay the extra money that were required for the historic nature, they would do that first, and then they'd join the district and get the other benefits of the district.
Interestingly, I had one lady who, I guess, in the woods, who had great interest in the property. And decided in the end that it was, he wanted a project, but not with as much of a capital P as ours.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
also, she thought the overall size was a little. She went through it. But she, other than that, she was, salivating over the opportunity to really get there with all the things that are.
Yeah, it's a great building. Yeah,
Well, it certainly has, I guess the word is, he has good bones for somebody to work with.
yeah,
But it does need to be done completely on the side. I mean, obviously, you know, the old plaster and
yeah,
that's gotta go. Everything from updated 200 amp service in the basement, into the.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
A good clarification even for the contractor too, is that by adding the property to the historic district, the purview over decisions to make changes is exterior and what's visible from the street. So interior changes don't fall under our purview as well, so that kind of gets back to the, you know, and its materials and the character of the exterior.
And paint color. We don't have any say over paint color.
Or shingle color.
Yeah, yeah, that, right,
I think
yeah.
the biggest exterior concerns might relate to if they decide to have a laundry room with the back shed.
Oh, yeah.
And also, there is, from the 30s, there was a barn back there.
Was there? Yeah.
And it was a substantial size one. Remnants of the foundation were intentionally left in place by my parents and my brother,
Huh,
figuring that maybe there'd be some grandfathering involved.
yeah,
Build a structure there.
Yeah.
But, obviously, that's going to affect the whole line of sight from the street considerably.
it's way in the back of the property, yeah,
Back
yeah.
corner of the- Not all the way back, I guess. You don't have
Yeah,
to back.
yeah.
Probably, maybe a little further back.
Oh, interesting,
See the
yeah,
plot?
Maybe that green
On the-
area.
yeah.
You
No,
think
that-
it would
that's
be,
not the best look.
I think it would be maybe the north side, meaning right
It would-
as you're
it would be
looking.
in the north, west corner.
Oh, I
Probably
see.
here.
back.
Yeah, farther back, yeah.
I think about here is where the ledge is, where it starts
Oh,
up and down.
the cliff, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
chasm.
it's steep there, yeah.
Oh, of course, we all do it, absolutely.
Oh, there's, look at that topography, wow, yeah. Wow, that's how steep it gets.
Yeah.
So it's that nice flat circle there, probably. There's a garden there now. Is the,
Beans on that hill when we were growing up.
Did you really? Yeah,
As you can imagine.
yeah, oh, yeah.
the foundation, the remnants aren't in the garden area? Partially,
They
maybe
are
partially.
a little there and to the right, and then maybe but it doesn't start too far away from that parking area there yet.
Yeah.
It was a pretty good sized thing. It was, one of these, hills like the old dairy cow or something. What really happened, I don't know exactly.
Burn down? Yeah.
Somebody did something and.
Yeah.
Oh, and I don't know if my father ever fessed up to something, but I have a sneaking suspicion that he and my uncle may have been fooling around and.
Yeah. Oh, really?
I'm not sure if anybody, including my mother, ever got the whole story.
Oh, that's funny. Father could be a trickster.
Well, I appreciate your taking the time to kind of update me on the literature. I'd love to look at it, and if there's a difference between, some of it might be recommendations, some might be guidelines, some might be mandates. It's pretty clear which category some of this info
Yes, it's very clear. In fact, I don't have I don't have an updated copy of the guidelines. Does somebody have a copy? We could just,
No.
No,
Yeah,
that's
it's
not-
probably,
no.
it's
That's
upstairs,
just-
if not, I can print one, but my computer's.
okay, we'll print one for you, because it's important to have. It's a great, resource.
I'll give that to him anyway.
Well, whatever we do decide to do, certainly, know that I will continue to emphasize to this buyer if he is the one or intent, I think, whether we can formalize it, the registry or not.
Yeah.
Contract with him?
Yeah, yeah.
an asterisk.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a priori deed restrictions are difficult.
What is that? Is that related to a trust? Is that?
No, it's just that, you know, you can get all kinds of promises from somebody.
Yeah.
But you can't put a restriction, on a sale, you know,
Yeah.
of that nature.
Yep.
Not unless it was in effect.
Right.
However, he sounds like he really does intend to do the right thing, of course. Smooth and deceitful, but I can't, he said that he had looked at it from a variety of possibilities. Rentals made any sense, and he said economically, it didn't really do anything for him differently than a house, and it would recommend. I think he wants to have something that he can sell, that's gotta be smart enough to know that these guys have been in business quite some time, it's a family business.
If he's, sorry, did he say if he's gone through historic registry before?
Yeah, he's familiar with it, he's done it very, he was involved, I guess, at least initially in one of the ones on. They had an offer in on it, but they spent all the money.
So he's a local person? I mean, he's,
His company is in Unionville.
I know.
Valley Residential Group. Really, all I know, other than everything I seems like they're okay. Concerns I'd have are the routine ones that we don't have. Come back to haunt us after our sale. These days, you gotta be very careful with it. Seller disclosures.
Yeah. So you have to do that testing before you sell it, or?
No.
No, he has to actually do that, yeah. Yeah.
I think the form is required,
Yeah,
most people just put a lot of unknowns in there, situations.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know,
Yeah.
no, looking at it, I guess we can see asbestos, but you ask me, do I have knowledge that there's asbestos or radon, or, I really don't
Yeah,
have
yeah.
knowledge of that house, so.
Yeah, yeah.
Unknown is a great safety valve for.
It's honest, too.
Lawyers in bed.
Yeah, well, sometimes, yeah. Well, it's a marvelous building, and, the setting on the road is really spectacular. It has, even though it's got Sherry's house on one side and then I call it the parsonage on the other side, it has this landscape around it that just allows you to see it in and of itself. It's really got fabulous.
My father's rhododendrons,
Well, we've all got those, yes. They're taking over the world.
you know what the history of that was?
No.
My father hated those kids coming up like we did too. Union School. They'd come up back of your property.
My
up
driveway.
there.
The Vivert's
In
driveway.
the water yard and cut across the grass.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And he was gonna stop it. Okay, so he plants this nice little rhododendron, which he then
Taking over the
subsequently
world.
ignored until it became this monster that
And it didn't help, I'll bet. Yeah.
my dad was rather notional.
Yeah. That was great. I'll tell you a story, a little story. He, so we raised our two sons, you know, 2 houses up the hill, up north. And I don't know how I met your dad, but at any rate, he would come up periodically. He was so much fun. And twice he came up early in the morning and put artificial flowers in our garden and pinwheels for the boys. It was like, boys. We just said, Harry, you're a kid. And he was. He had great wonderful spirit. Sure did, yeah.
One last story then. Back, at the time of the floods in 55, the neighbors back,
Yes.
he got along fairly well with
Is that the Wixon?
I believe it was a Wixon.
Okay.
And, but, they'd have to kind of watch the house because they were down in, or someplace. So after the worst of the storms had passed, he just sent a message down to them, a cryptic message, what would you like done with your roof? No clarification.
And they panicked when they saw that. He was really a wonderful sense of humor. Well, anyway, well, it's very nice to meet you, and we, are so glad to, have you come in and talk about the district, and, you know, we're available for questions or even,
I appreciate that. I'll look at that information and maybe
Yeah.
get it through Steve.
yeah,
Right next door a whole lot.
yeah,
I have a wonderful neighbor.
you're lucky, yeah.
We're not really neighbors, because I just visit the house now. I consider her a neighbor.
Absolutely.
And Steve, of course.
Good neighbors.
I wonder if we should extend an invitation to the buyer. I wonder if he could wait, or if you could wait, till our next meeting.
Yeah, my guess, and I'll find out more when I talk, that might be unproductive at this.
Before the sale. But right after the sale, we
And
can,
again, if he wants to keep the historic, you know, keep the historic nature without the historic restrictions when he's renovating and then add it in after for the tax.
Yeah, there's actually 2 possibilities, I think, that are strongest for doing it on the circumstances. One would be when he is completed doing, have strongest yet, the buyer, ultimate buyer.
yeah.
If most of the work will have, that could be affected by any of the registry. That's almost,
Yeah, yeah,
of course, that doesn't give you the insurance policy that registering now does.
yeah, yeah, doesn't shut it down either. Good.
Well, thank you.
Oh, it was our pleasure. It was great to talk with you. Thank you.
That house is 1891?
Yeah.
Yeah,
William Hitchcock.
Yeah, we'd love to have it in
yeah,
our district.
yeah, we would. It's a great building. It's got a great history, and, which includes your family, actually. So, we may contact you again just to say hello.
Communication is always well.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I should probably,
And, how can we get, the guidelines to, John? Oh, do you have them right there?
No, this is
No.
just the welcome pack.
Oh, okay, okay.
That's welcome package, yeah.
Hand deliver the guidelines.
Yeah, we'll get the guidelines
that's
to you.
something you can do when you're,
Yeah.
you know, when you get a chance.
Good. Thanks so much, John. It's great meeting you. Yeah.
Education, man, it was fun.
Thank you.
Sherry.
Thanks, Sherry.
And I just
You
got
can
right
stay
in.
longer if you want.
Yeah.
Give them the full court press. The neighborly nudge.
Been looking for that forward to
Oh,
that.
I guess I should get my paint quote in so they can compare the vinyl siding.
I think it would be cheaper.
Yeah.
It's actually the right thing to do, of course. So,
I would estimate that would be almost 40,000
painting.
or more.
40,000 to
Yeah, oh,
paint?
yeah.
No, the siding, sorry. Could be, especially if they go to the extent of trying to do the staggered, shingle, and the gable sections and
Oh,
the
yeah,
scallop
yeah.
shingles in the other sections and the clapboard. I mean, they make it. They do make it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's, you know, if you put that effort in,
Yeah.
what I anticipate is that I think they're all gonna make it look like clapboard.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Yeah,
try to keep the
right.
trim and the edge pieces and sort of make it a little more bland and
It would take
it
all
would
that,
still look, it would
all
still
the
look okay,
interesting
but,
features out.
yeah. So,
What would it
Not the
cost to paint? Steve?
Not the 40. You
well,
can't give it away.
to-
To scrape and paint, I mean,
I know.
it's,
and if it's a
The
3 or
labor
4
and-
color
yeah,
scheme,
yeah.
yeah.
and the labor and
Lead.
the labor and the prep is probably the biggest sink.
Right. Yeah. But surprisingly, there's only 1 or 2 layers of paint on that building.
Yeah,
It's incredible.
that's true.
It's flaking off.
That's true.
And you can see bare wood in
Well.
like 30% of the
Right,
surface.
right.
Yeah, that's-
So it's actually a lot easier. It looks horrible, but it's so much easier than my house.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, my
And
house.
it doesn't have to be a multiple color, just, you know,
No,
it could be all white, as it
Right.
has been.
I'm thinking,
right?
I'm thinking 25. I could do it for 25,
25?
3 colors.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I'd be
Really?
willing to do it for less than,
I'm gonna bring you
What
over
would
and
you
get
do?
a
Less than market
for the rest of mine.
What am I doing this, though?
because it's in the neighborhood and it's
There you
a
go,
cherry.
right?
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
corner.
yeah.
Running a business here.
And, you know, anyway.
Yeah. So let's, just talk a little bit about, he is a delightful person.
Yeah. Really.
But I'd like to stay connected.
Yeah.
So we're gonna drop off the guidelines to him.
Yes.
Steve, thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, Garrett and Steve, thank
Do
you.
we have his address?
Yeah.
Like 79 Lovely Street.
Well.
He said he lived on Lyon Road. and-
Yeah, he's in Burlington.
Burlington.
Yeah, I have his address.
Oh, you do? Okay.
That's good.
And is there any other way we could, well, we could,
The windows, and they could do the windows, that's what I was going
I'll
for.
pick it up, it's much easier.
Yeah.
You know, like,
yeah.
the cranks, so could we, that's why it'd be good, it sounds like it's so far gone already, what he's decided with the contractor. But, you know, it's like, you would think there might be a way to, I don't know, like go to Sanford and Holly and figure out a good quote for a window, like, that's what I worry about, because that changes the entire look, the window and the front door.
Yep, yeah,
Has to be good.
yeah. No, I agree.
Well, they also want something, though, very energy efficient.
I know.
I'm guaranteeing there's no insulation, and that's a cold house.
know.
So, they're gonna definitely, anyone that buys it, a contractor's gonna wanna make it energy efficient.
Oh, yeah, all new wiring.
Yep,
Well,
Yeah.
maybe 70%, all new plumbing.
yep, yep.
But the walls have to be opened up anyway because of the plastic.
Right.
You've got it.
Yeah.
And then it's much easier to do the wiring and the
Right,
plumbing.
right.
And if you've got it, then you can do the insulation from the inside and
Right.
not have to
Exactly.
worry about doing it from the
Yeah.
outside.
That's
Yeah.
right.
New windows.
All the beautiful woodwork, like, when you got it, can you take that off? They're not gonna do that.
I know.
You can work around
Oh,
that
yeah.
woodwork.
It depends on the contractor.
Yeah.
His woodwork is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
up-
that's, I wanted to do that too.
Residential
Thank you for that, yeah, yeah.
Right, you got it.
Look at this chestnut. It's solid chestnut.
That's gorgeous.
Incredible.
House?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The door.
That is gorgeous.
The door is like
Solid.
hardware.
The
Really?
interior is
It's gorgeous.
really
When you-
gorgeous.
That part looks like it's been
gorgeous.
kept up well.
The finish on
You
it,
really feel it.
Yeah.
the finish on it is, that front door
That's
is
beautiful.
42 by 3 inches thick by 7 feet tall.
That's leaded glass on the sides.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Chestnut.
That's gorgeous.
That wood is so valuable.
Maybe there's wood floors underneath that god-awful carpeting.
I'm sure there are.
Oh, yeah. No, in other, with mahogany detail,
Oh.
on the perimeter, it's
That's like the bonus,
not that,
They haven't made any changes to the rooms inside, have they?
it's a brand-new roof. It's a brand-new
Yeah,
roof
the
and new
roof.
gutters.
You mean the rooms, did you say?
To the rooms, to
Oh,
the
roof, yeah.
internally.
Yeah, I think,
So
gorgeous.
they would, someone coming in would
That's
probably
beautiful.
want to do a lot of internal work also.
yeah.
I wonder if the chimneys are in good shape.
Yeah, the interior's
That's nice tile work, though. It's beautiful.
All right, well, Steve, you'll drop off the guidelines. I think a note from us, I haven't been in the house in years. Oh, look at the tile work.
You think he could give us a tour before he sells it?
On the outside, and probably a center one also.
Well, he wants to clear all of
I
Bill's stuff
believe so.
out, because Bill was a collector.
And here-
Oh, Bill, well, that's.
I won't use the H word,
Yeah.
because it's navigable.
No.
And
No.
there's space, and you can see the walls, and you can put
Mhm.
something on the counter,
Right.
Did you see that? Did you see the?
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Incredible.
Yes, it's beautiful. When you
Trying
walk
to
in
figure
that
out
door,
if that's
you know
actual tile or if part of that's like tin or something. Do you think it's all ceramic?
Yeah, oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I've salvaged a set like that before,
Okay, beautiful.
at 3,500, 20 pieces.
You really?
Mailed it to England. Shipped it to England.
You, good for
Wow.
you.
That's nice.
Nice.
Anyway.
Even a longer trip.
Yeah, so when he gets it cleaned out, maybe I'll try to get us a tour.
Bill was really reluctant
So
to do
you're-
anything, maintenance-wise on the house.
Yeah, Bill was,
He would not,
well, he didn't. have
anything
it.
done.
Well, he
Well, it's kind of
also,
like that. If you don't have the money, you don't want to open that can of worms.
yeah,
Once you start one thing, you know there's going to be something else.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And his dad, took good care of the house. He, he took good care of it, but it's hard. I think it was,
Structurally, it's solid.
yes.
It is,
Oh, yeah.
it is really, I don't see any cracking, settling, you don't see all those crooked doorways sometimes you see.
Mhm.
It's got a full basement, big stones.
So
And the floor-
it's a stone foundation.
And the floors don't even squeak.
Oh, no. No, it's so well made. It's so well made. The timber is just, nominal.
I'm trying to come up with, what can we?
Hey, sorry. Sorry, I'm ding. I can't find it to shut it off.
No, it's okay.
But he wants to get it cleared out, but once it's cleared out,
It's my daughter.
Oh, I wish there was something we could offer him that was, well, I kept wanting to say, and how much did he offer
I
for it?
know, well,
I would, but.
I'm reading a review for it.
well, he gave a hint at $250,000, but he actually told me 200.
200?
I know.
200?
Yes. Well,
That's
he's got to put $250,000 into it.
Right.
Right? Windows, electrical, plumbing.
Oh, yeah,
new
all
walls.
that work, yeah.
Maybe 3, but done up,
Hmm.
that place it'll fetch a great price.
I'm reading a review for Valley, and someone said how they did their parents' home, and they bought it as is, paid cash, and closed in 30 days. So that's,
Yeah.
Because John
that's,
John doesn't want to maintain it through the winter. He doesn't want to shut off water. He doesn't want to pay for a certain amount of heat, electricity. He's got security, a new security on the building. He just doesn't want, he wants to just,
Hmm. That bothers me, though. Companies like that can pay cash, close in 30 days, they're not really into keeping the integrity of a home. They're gonna flip it.
Flip
they
it.
gave him a very good review.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
Gonna sell the house.
Right.
It's like that tile work.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's,
You know, I mean, and, you know, they're not gonna touch that stuff, I would think.
Because that's a good.
no, but the outside, they're gonna wanna just, it'll be easier for them to
Nothing else.
throw up siding than to have it painted.
I'd like to
Right.
see the interior of one of the houses they flip. I'd just like to see, what they do.
They have five-star review.
Do they?
I'm just reading, I mean.
What just kind of made me worried a bit, you know, because when I first started talking to John, he said, oh, we're in no rush, we're gonna take our time, maybe
They
sometime
are
next
in a
year.
rush.
And now it's like,
Yeah.
suddenly, I don't know what happened,
The buyer, probably.
yeah, and worrying about the
He's got
security
pressure now.
and the cost of, you know, pipe freezing.
I remember
you know,
that
the-
with
the
my own
space not
parents'
being
house,
heated through the
yeah.
winter as much.
Yep.
All those factors, I think, started to come into play.
Mhm.
Sisters involved, but
Yeah.
I think Bill is John's the executor, and
Yeah, and a contractor
suddenly-
can make it look,
They don't want it. I mean,
a
if they don't
contractor
want
can
it
make it look half
themselves,
decent.
they want the check.
Yeah, yeah.
They're living at.
Okay, well, let's
Anyway.
get them the information. Steve, it sounds like you're very connected.
Well, I don't think I wouldn't say wasting our time, because I do like the idea of having, somehow talking to this developer guy in some kind of communication, saying, you know, even though it may not be registered before you buy it, we really want you to consider, registering with us after you're finished,
Yes,
and would like a tour.
yes.
Or,
Or find out if he's done any other historic restorations.
That's a good idea. That's a good question.
You know, have you done any other historic restorations that we could look at?
But we don't want to contact him before,
Right,
specifically said, not before the sale, so.
yeah, and on the other hand, I don't want to, I like John, I've done work for John.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want to spoil this for him.
No.
Right.
He's 80, and he's probably just ready to
Yeah.
hash out and let go of any
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah, yeah,
responsibility.
yeah.
And you gotta respect that to a certain extent.
Yeah.
It's nice of him to wanna keep it.
Yeah, see,
No,
I believe so.
okay.
His bill was 79, even though it said 80 in the, yeah.
Oh, then you're right. No, he's
Mm.
76 or.
Yeah, he's not about 80.
All right, well, that was very interesting and very good.
That's a good question. Now, I see the Farmington Historic Commission is gonna be moving into the big stone house, which is my favorite home in Farmington.
That's the Farmington Historical Society,
got
Oh, that's
separate.
different,
Archive.
okay, different, okay.
The archive?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna do programs and
Well,
archives.
they need space to store
Yeah.
the.
There's,
Yeah.
carriage stored at Miss Porter's,
Yep.
that it will be part of the museum, of the Farmington Historic Society. I was talking to the Jay Bombara about it, because the one of the current properties of the historic district, owns, they want to put in the historic district before they sell it. They've got some doors from that house, that they'll be keeping and putting on display in the new building, kind of across the street, so.
Yep, yep.
I think they got approval from planning and zoning for its, I don't remember off the top of my head, I don't.
Yeah, yeah.
For a special permit for the property so that it can be used as a museum, and, I think they're looking to utilize it more in the future, given that it's such a nice
Yeah.
property.
My favorite home in Farmington, it really is.
It sat vacant for a while, unfortunately.
Yep, yep.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah, the property is beautiful, too.
The home is beautiful, and I guess they're gonna probably have a living caretaker, because they're gonna keep an accessory apartment.
We did that with the land trust they're building on Coppermine.
Mhm.
That if it's a charitable or philanthropic, there can be an accessory apartment as part of that without having a primary living space, so that way, someone can, either they're renting or taking care of the property, because it's such a big it's a
Mhm.
big property too,
Yeah.
which is nice, but it's not the area.
I love the fact that these organizations are using historic buildings, you know, and giving them a new life. Yeah, that's exciting. So no, not the historic district there. We live without a home.
I guess. I was gonna say, how come they get that nice house and we have nothing?
We're also looking at the historic district, so.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, typical, you know, Unionville's the redhead stepchild.
We have a lot of fun over here. All right. So Steve, we're gonna have to, I think, turn to you and maybe Sherry also in terms of keeping us informed, if you would. And also letting us know what you think we can do to keep the lines of communication open. Anyway, yeah.
And I think we've talked about that in the past, that if someone is not part of the district,
Yeah.
we're not necessarily gonna not help them if they've got questions about maintaining historic attributes and things like that of a home, so.
Yeah, you're right about that, yeah. I was about to offer our services as a consultant, and then I thought, stop it.
So it's going
Yeah.
to, you know, if the person purchases property and they like to maintain some of the historic details, like.
Yeah.
To us or commission, input.
Yeah,
It's not binding, it's just,
yeah,
what are your thoughts on this? Usually it's if you're not working with someone's working with Jack Kemper, he's,
yeah,
he knows all this historic stuff.
yeah,
He loves it.
yeah, that's right.
Property in Unionville Historic District, and Steve obviously as well.
We print off a second set of guidelines to give to the developer.
That's not bad, that's not a bad idea, one for you, yeah. And how about the historical resource survey document?
I can print that as well.
Can you print that out? That would be awesome.
Yeah.
So that, we could be a source for information. Good. Well, that was excellent. I'm glad. You all were terrific. Deep sigh. All right. Where else are we? My head is full. That's it. Okay. We've done everything. Okay.
Can I just ask one quick question? I know I wasn't here at the last meeting, but what is Jack doing? It's a two-story house? Apartment? Is he?
No,
It's a little way.
No, nothing like that.
Moving his
Little add-on.
to the house?
No, none of that.
He's got a bunch of historic books, architecture books that he's acquired over the years, so.
Oh, so it's gonna be like a library?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's 10 by 13
Study
on the first floor.
and
Okay.
library.
Okay. I've been in his
It's
home.
upstairs,
Yeah.
an extension, yeah.
Okay.
That's right, Barbara. It's got a first floor and a top floor. And he's really arranged it in a very clever way that's sort of, it's as if it's sliding out a bit.
I don't think he needs to downsize to a home office anytime.
Yeah, no.
And he's going to, I'm looking at the drawing there, so he's going to extend the brick, he's got a brick foundation.
Brownstone, it's brownstone veneer that he'll be
Okay.
doing on the addition, because that'll obviously be concrete, but he's
Right.
doing the brownstone veneer to match the existing. It'll all be wood clapboard,
Nice.
roof will match.
Yep.
He does everything great.
Well, my husband does his own, he does the masonry on Jack's home.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, oh, okay, so there's some stuff there.
Yeah.
There you go. You know where your husband will be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But then I wasn't sure, because I know that, he sold his space back
right.
to the developer that has done nothing. That whole complex, I think that's gonna be a nightmare, but,
Yep.
I wasn't quite sure, but that'll look nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, it'll blend in nicely.
Yeah, it will. You did a good job at that.
It's a nice portrayal. Right there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks, Garrett. Good.
Thank you for that.
That's all we've got then, so anybody else have any questions for maybe Garrett about anything going on, or secrets? Yeah, I know. Yeah.
No secrets to share, unfortunately.
Okay, no secrets tonight. Oh, okay.
Did you approve the meeting for next year?
Yes, yeah. Normally it's October, normally it's meetings in October, well, the
There's one
meeting
change.
schedule has to be approved by November. Usually we do it October, because that way
I
it's.
was asking, but I wasn't at the last.
Yeah. And it's also so that way elections and the meeting schedule are the same meetings, so.
Is there a date on there that doesn't work for you?
No, not at all, but in an email.
Yeah, I'll put that in with the, yeah.
If I have to give an update.
There was one change, that's all.
Yeah, just one date, it was, Hanukkah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, this is January. It was that-
January and October.
Yeah, it's Rosh Hashanah.
Good. All right. Well, having said that, then, entertain a motion to adjourn. Thanks, Matt. A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? No. Okay.
Take care, Barb.
Month. Yeah,
Thank you.
bye, Barb.
Bye,
Oh,
Shall, you
there you
too.
are.
See you next month.
You bet. Have a good Thanksgiving, everybody.